Welcome back to week 3 of our limited food budget challenge. This is a 4-week challenge. Each week we take £20, we go to a different shop and we buy food to last us the week. That's 3 meals plus a little bit extra to go into the store cupboard, herbs and spices, and a little treat each week as well. So week 1 we went to Lidl's, week 2 we went to Asda's, and this week we're going to go to Aldi's. We're going to take £20, go buy a load of ingredients, come back. I'm going to show you what we picked up from the shop, then we'll go over what's left over from weeks 1 and 2, and then we'll get straight on with the beginning of the week, making lots of lovely meals, hopefully some new recipes, a few ideas out there for you, and a bit of experimentation. So let's get straight into it. Let's go to Aldi's, let's get the shopping done. I'm really happy with the Aldi's shop. I'm actually really impressed with Aldi's as well. Let's go through some of the items we picked up for week 3. So we got 6 eggs, more bananas because I just love bananas and they're so versatile, especially recently with the 3 ingredients budget cooking we're doing. Mayo, so this is going to be another cupboard staple now, so we've got a full-size real mayonnaise, some more natural yogurt, primarily for cooking, flatbreads, etc. Because you guys have lit a fire under me when it comes to baking and using more basic ingredients, I picked up plain flour because I want to try and make some tortilla wraps as well as the flatbreads I've been making in weeks 1 and 2. And this, so this is slightly damaged, slightly open, and it had 30% off from £1.10, £1.09 I think, sorry. But that hasn't lost 30% of its, oh yeah, I've got to be a bit careful with it. It hasn't lost 30% of its contents, so we're absolutely fine with that, and that saved us a few pennies. Some yeast, so we're going to make some actual bread. Well, I'm going to attempt to make some actual bread. I've never made bread before. I picked up a herb this time round, Italian style mixed herbs. The prices for herbs and spices is the cheapest in Aldi, so if you're going to stock up, Aldi's is the one. It's going to go really nicely with some chopped tomatoes and tinned tomatoes and passata. I didn't pick up passata, did I? I need to talk about that. That's going to go really nicely with some cooking, and I'm hoping to make some bread with like some Italian style herbs in it. A big bag of onions, because we work a lot with onions. We have done in the first 2 weeks. This should last us another 2 weeks because the first bag lasted us, first kilogram bag of onions lasted us. These are British wonky browns, so they're not the perfect shape, and why would you need perfect shaped onions? A crumbly Wensleydale cheese. So I've gone for a block of cheese. I went for the cheapest block I could find with the best strength, because they did have a Gloucester, but this is strength 2, and that's a crumbly Wensleydale cheese. I've got lots of ideas to use that for. You either love them or you hate them. Instant noodles, just the 1 pack. One of the, I think they call it the Super 6, a tray of British chestnut mushrooms. More lentils, because the more I use lentils, the more I'm enjoying the versatility of them. Soups, dals, bologneses. Another tin for the pantry store cupboard. Red kidney beans, baked beans, because they just go well with eggs and bacon. Tin of sardines, the cheap ones in tomato sauce. Mentioned that I fancied going out my comfort zone, so I got a big sweet potato. We'll check the price on that at the end, but I think it was around the 60p mark. The big buy for the week on the budget is a roast in a bag, but you don't have to roast it in a bag. Extra tasty whole chicken. It says serves 5. I want to get a minimum of 5 meals out of it. I'm going to try and stretch it across the whole week. That's going to be one of the key parts of week 3, is how many meals you can make from a whole chicken. So that should make this week a bit interesting. Part of trying to make different meals out of it, I picked up some sage and onion stuffing. These are really versatile. If you've seen some of my other challenges, I use these in quite a lot of meals. Really good to use and cheap to buy and filling. I bought another seasoning, so I've got some spices here. I've got Piri seasoning. This is going to be great for the chicken, especially some chicken wings. So it's got a blend of chilies, onions and citrus peel. So that's 2. So we've got garam masala, we've got curry powder, we've now got Italian mixed herbs and Piri seasoning. So we are starting to build up our little supply of herbs and spices. We'll grab some more next week as well for the treat. Now, I don't often buy sweet things. It's one of those things I'm more of a savoury person, but I picked up some dark chocolate at the end when I was kind of working out where I was at on my budget. I ummed and ahed between dark milk and dark. Dark's a bit healthier for you, and it's one of my preferences. I prefer dark chocolate. You could put a cube of that in with your chili. You could use it for cooking. We can also add this to our banana oat muffins, just to give them a little bit extra, and they'll make great snacks for when we're at work next week. That's the food haul, on top of all of the items that we already have from weeks 1 and 2. Now, if you haven't watched episodes 1 and 2, you can always go back and watch them first, or you can watch this and jump in and watch the others at your leisure if you want to. Each week has its own merits. Each week's going to have different meals, and it's going to be based around the stuff we've got on the table. Obviously, as the weeks progress, there are other items. I'm going to show you what's left over from weeks 1 and 2 on the £20 a week budget, so you have an idea. So when I start cooking, you don't go, where was that from? Where was that from his shop? So again, just to emphasize, the basis of this challenge is 4 weeks, £20 a week, building up a food store, food cupboards. So we've got residual stuff left over. We're going to review it at the end of the 4 weeks and see what we've built up food wise. 3 meals a day, trying to be as versatile as we can. I'm learning more to bake, to make flatbreads, to tortillas, to now bread itself. That said, I'll share with you the receipt quickly. Might need to fold it over. So red lentils 99p, sardines in tomato sauce 55p, Wensleydale cheese was £1.89, kidney beans from the essential range was 37p, baked beans 27p, instant noodles 35, yeast 65, dark chocolate 55, stuffing mix 45, Italian herb 69p, natural yogurt 55p, sweet potato loose, so 69 pence for the one big large sweet potato. The mushrooms came in at 69p, the onions were 80p. Because they're wonky, we saved some money, and that really does not bother me. If you see my onions down the allotment, they are not perfect, and they will taste better than any onions you buy in the shop. 5-pack of bananas, 78p. The whole chicken was, like I said, the big buy of the week, £4.99. Hopefully 5 to 7 meals out of that bad boy. Eggs, I just got 6 because I ate a lot of eggs over the last 2 weeks, £1.45, and they will actually be used for cooking quite a lot. Plain flour, 78p. This was the strong white flour, so bread flour. It came in at, it is bread flour, isn't it? Yeah. threw me off when it said strong white flour, but essentially that's bread flour. £1.09, but discounted 30% off, so I'll say 33p on that. Squeezy mayo 95p, and the Piri seasoning came in at 75p. Grand total £19.95, so 5p left over. I'm going to show you quickly in a little edit from last week of what was left over at the end of week 2. Quite a lot of green beans in the freezer. We've got a portion of the dal, my condiments packets, then I've got the coffee, half the mince, a little bit of chilli mix to use up, 7 lots of bacon left, frozen ripe banana crumpet, tomato puree, 1 tin of the chopped tomatoes left, the chickpeas and some spaghetti hoops, a tin of peeled potatoes. We've kind of got like a little backup stash going. Herbs and spices wise, we've got half the medium curry powder, which the garam masala, there's more than half of that left still. Got 3 beetroots, 2 sorry looking carrots, got the onion, we've got about a pint's worth of milk, granola, still got a reasonable amount left in that bag. We've still got half the porridge oats, half the pasta, not too much left of the self-raising flour, red lentils, natural yoghurt's going to be used up today, probably the rest of that flour, quite a lot of peanut butter left, 5 potatoes, and we've got 4 pears. That's everything we've got left over from weeks 1 and 2. That is a decent cupboard's worth of foods. Right, so I thought we could start day 1 of week 3 off with a little cooked breakfast. I've just got back from the allotment, so I fancy a big breakfast after doing a load of weeding and digging. Got 2 of the little packs of bacon. Just a refresh as to this bacon is all the scraps, all the bits of bacon that when they prepare the rashers doesn't cut properly, or the end bits, so you end up with it like that kind of bacon, which is absolutely perfect for cooking. Tastes no different, just isn't got a nice shape to it, but that doesn't matter, does it? So quite a lot of bacon there. That's 2 lots of the bacon. A couple of our chestnut mushrooms, and I wash mushrooms. I'm always washing the mushrooms because they do contain, well, they grow in compost and mud, so, and they do have some residual. And if the pan looked like it was dirty beforehand, it was. It had bacon grease because I'd made my son and his mate some bacon sandwiches, and they're not on the challenge, so they don't. They just had a bacon sandwich with ketchup. Going to use half this tin of beans, well, half the tin was sauce. Just try and put some of that sauce back. That'll do bean wise. So you got about half. That's the trouble with the cheaper beans, so you can buy cheap to save money, and these were 27p, but you do inevitably get a lot more sauce than bean. I'm going to have an egg, fried egg. Got no bread, so we're going to have our last crumpet we saved from week 1. Oh, broke the yolk. Never mind. Minus the beans, it can all cook in one pan. These will be alright in the fridge for a couple of days, in the tin, covered over with a little elastic band. I was all out of ketchup sachets. I've got 2 left, which is great because I do like a bit of ketchup if I can't have brown sauce, which I don't have sachets for. And then because I don't have any bread, we're going to have that crumpet. There you go, there's my budget friendly cooked breakfast. 1 fried egg, mushrooms, a lot of bacon scraps, a sea of baked beans because it's very runny in the liquid, and a crumpet. I'm going to eat this outside in the garden, enjoy the sunshine. I'll check back in with you to do some baking and for lunch. Decided to go for a picnic for lunch down Buckler's Hard. I'm just going to I've made up 2 lots of flatbread, so I've used the last of the self-raising flour and the natural yoghurt from last week, and then use up some of the beetroot with a carrot and onion and make it into like a salad filling with a little bit of the crumbly Wensleydale. Just thought that would be a nice little lunch to take on the picnic. And then I'm going to take a pear with me as well. Well, only 1. I'm going to chop up the beetroot. It's a good way of using this beetroot up, to be fair. I'm just going to dice it into little cubes. I'm going to chuck that in there so we can mix it all up. And then we're going to do one of the onions. So it says wonky onions, and that's why they're reduced, but they're really not wonky. Do the onion quite thin. I'm wondering if we just need half an onion. Probably do, because otherwise it'd be quite overpowering. So I'm going to save half that onion back. That will definitely get used in something else. Do the carrot. I don't know if any of you have been following my allotment series on the channel, but the carrots I'm growing down the allotment are doing really well at the moment. I was showing Vicky, because we were down there this morning, some of the growth on the carrots. You were impressed, weren't you, Vic?
Yeah.
So I've got some garlic, some early harvested garlic, which I've now got hanging in the kitchen to dry out. So I don't wash them because I think that's how they get rot. So what I tend to do is just I brush off as much of the mud as I can, then I leave them on the actual stalk, and then I just hang them to dry in the warm air. I'll give you a little glimpse in a minute. What I mean. So I just cut them, dust them off with the mud, leave the roots, leave it all, just don't mess with it, and then I allow it to dry. But should have some, it's very pungent smelling just from cutting the tops off of them. Really looking forward to using them. Right, so we've got the carrot grated, and then I'm going to take a little bit of this cheese, precious cheese, because we don't have a lot of cheese in these budgets, so I'm not going to go mental. I'm really glad I got the crumbly Wensley down now. Put some mayo in it, a little bit of black pepper, give that a mix around. Then we're going to crumble in some of the cheese. Let's try some of this cheese in itself. Really nice. Just had an idea. Just going to add some of the sultanas and raisins out of the granola, because I like the contrast. Because you get coronation chicken salad and it has raisins or sultanas in it. So there you go, there's the filling for our flatbread. Really good. So there we go, I'm going to clean up the mess. So we're sat at Buckler's Hard and I'm having my little picnic. So I'm having the homemade flatbread I made earlier, and then I've got that salad with the beetroot, carrot, onion and Wensleydale cheese. Peyton, you're going to try some?
Yeah.
It smells really nice. Vicky, you said it looks like a rainbow salad, didn't you?
Yeah, it does.
I'm going to make it into these little pitters. Oh, portion out a whole chicken into 8 pieces. That's a whole chicken portioned out. 2 chicken drumsticks, which will make a meal in itself. I'm using these little Ziploc bags just to keep things portioned out, and it's easier to stick them in the fridge, in the freezer. We've got 2 chicken thighs. You've got your large chicken breast, which you can debone. You can take the bone section off of this. You could even halve that down. That's a substantial meal in itself. And again, on the other half of the chicken, so number 6. I'm going to be using these chicken wings today, so I won't be putting them in a Ziploc bag. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is a bonus piece because it's not going to get counted as a meal in itself, but this will make a stock which can then be made into soup, or just left as stock for adding to other dishes. But there's your 9 pieces in total, but you've got 8 cuts of chicken ready to use. I've got plenty of meals to see me through the week. Today's really got away with me. It's we went for that picnic, we had a lovely time. Family time's important, especially towards the end of the half term. So I'm not going to be able to make bread today. I know I keep saying I'm going to make the bread, but tomorrow is another day and life takes over. I've shared with you the cutting of the chicken. I have done a whole video of sectioning out the chicken because it's the first time I've done it, and I thought, well, if I haven't done it before, and I was a little bit nervous about doing it, I figured that there might be a few people out there who benefit from just seeing how easy a novice like me could section out the chicken. So obviously you've seen we've got the 8 pieces plus we're going to make stock. Let's get on with dinner because I want to get it done. We are just going to have some Piri seasoned wings, nice big wings there, look, off the chicken. So I'm just put a little bit of oil and I'm going to put a load of this on there. When I say a load, I don't mean like what I did the other day with the garam masala, with the curry powder, where I completely swamped it, but enough to keep this seasoned up. And then we just bash it around in there, leave that for a minute, and then we're going to do some skin on fries. So I'm literally just going to cut sections like this. This new knife I've got is super sharp. I treated myself to a new knife. Well, I say that, I treated myself to a new knife set from Asda's. It was £13. It came with 4 knives and a bonus potato peeler. I just need to be careful that I don't take my fingers off. So I've washed these potatoes. I'm just going to leave the skin on and I'm just going to slice them into fries. In fact, while I'm doing that, the chicken can go in the air fryer. Get that chicken on the go. So the thinner I do these fries, the quicker they're going to cook. I just transferred them into a tub because the bowl was too small and I'm a wally for doing it. I'm going to put some olive oil on these to crisp them up a little bit. We're going to whack on some of the Italian style. So we're going to have some Italian herby chips with some piri chicken. I could do some veg, but I'm not in the mood. It's Saturday night. Well, that smells incredible. So mix them up, and they're going to go in the other section of the air fryer. So there we have my little fakeaway, my little homemade takeaway for tea. I've got some chips done in the air fryer. I'm going to have some mayonnaise, which was part of our ingredients purchased this week. I'm going to spice up the wings with some hot sauce from a Taco Bell sachet. I'm really happy with that. After my busy day, I am disappointed I didn't make bread, but I've got time tomorrow. I need to keep. I better stop saying that, because every time I say it, I don't do it. But never mind. And just quickly, if I was ever to cheat on one of these challenges, today would be one of them. I'm not going to, because I'm the one who's got to live with myself if I was to cheat. But these little beauties are the first strawberries from my garden. I'm going to give them, look at this little one here. There's nothing wrong with these ones. They're just not the right shape. So you would, sometimes shops don't even put them in, but they taste just the same. But this one here looks very ripe. I'm going to get my son to eat them quickly before I'm tempted. And after this challenge, I'm going to feast on strawberries. Unfortunately here, I managed to mess up the recording of the sound with my little mic. So I'm using 500 grams of the strong white bread flour, which I'm just going to put into the bowl. And then to this mix, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of sugar, and the packet of yeast. This is a fast acting dry yeast, so you just sprinkle the packet in, and then it's activated when you add warm water. This was the teaspoon of sugar. I used granulated, I think. I wasn't sure if it's cast or granulated. 1 teaspoon of sunflower oil, and the 2 teaspoons of salt. I just used table salt. I think the recipe did require fine salt. I'm not sure what that meant, so I just used table salt because that's what I have in the house. I then added 325 mils of water. This was warm water because the warm water is what helps the yeast to activate. I then combined the mixture so that all the flour was absorbed into the mix, and the recipe said till you had a shaggy dough, so I'm assuming that's just a rough dough. I then covered the dough with some cling film and left it for 10 minutes just to rest. This is how it looked whilst it was resting for 10 minutes. Whilst the dough was resting for 10 minutes, I just got on and made a quick breakfast. I had a coffee with one of the sweetener packets and some of the milk, and then I made a granola. Right, so it says to oil the side on my recipe. So that's what I'm doing. I'm putting some oil on the side. I'd have thought instinctively I would have thought it would have been flour, but I'll follow the guidance. I'm very sorry about the lack of sound on the first section with the breakfast and the beginning of this. I hope the voiceover did enough to help, but I did put this little bit in here, look. So I wear this on my hat because I've had it on my chest before and you can just hear me heavy breathing, which isn't nice. And if I don't put that on, but I put the bottom bit into my phone, it's like a silent movie. Anyway, stop waffling on. 10 minutes sat resting in the bowl, and then it says to knead it for at least, I might have put too much oil on the side, at least 10 minutes. I actually really like kneading bread. I don't know, it's kind of therapeutic. Well, I won't make you watch 10 minutes of me kneading bread. Right, so I've kneaded that for 10 minutes. I put a little bit of grease. I put a little bit of oil in the bowl. Vicky, I'll put some oil in the bowl just so it doesn't stick. Because it started to stick to the counter. Yeah. So I figured it might do that if it's resting. But
you need to have flour on the counter as well, because that's the bit sticking.
I think you do flour when you portion it out and make the rolls. And that's why it said do oil when you're kneading it. And I was a bit dubious about using oil, but it worked. It didn't stick to my hands or the counter. Oh. But it does say in the recipe to use flour when you're rolling it out and making the rolls. Yeah. It can be left for more than an hour, can't it? Yeah. Yeah, because it says an hour or until... Also, sorry Vic, I've got loads of questions. Yeah. Is that bowl big enough if it's going to double in size? Will it just go up?
Yeah, it should just go up.
Do I need a bigger bowl?
But it might stick to the sides.
So I get a bigger bowl?
It might be a good idea.
Right, I'll do that. Thank you, darling. Been busy down B&Q, come back and look at the size of this bad boy. Good job Vicky said put it in a bigger bowl, because that's taken up the whole of the large bowl. So it says to get the mixture, stick it onto a well floured surface and roll it into a sausage. That looks like a sausage to me. I cut it in half. Make sure Vicky doesn't see me cutting on the work surface. And then it says to take the two halves and then make 4 equal size. Mind you, if I want bigger rolls, I could do 3, couldn't I? I'm a big guy and I want big rolls. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to deviate from the instructions. I'm going to make, Vic, I'm going to make 6 instead of 8. Because I want bigger rolls. That won't affect it, will it? I've got the oven preheating at 210. I'm just going to even them out a bit. Vicky, would you say these are even, babe?
Pretty much.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Would you reckon they will?
The dough?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says make 8, but I want bigger baps.
Yeah, I think that'd be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I would still only put 4 in at a time though. Otherwise I'll mould into 1.
Well, I've got a plan for that.
Okay.
I've got that tray there. I need to buy some new trays, don't I? Will that work? Because I don't want to waste greaseproof paper. I'm sure that will work. And then I can get them all in at the same time. And then think about lunch. Or I'll wait and I'll have a roll. Fresh, warm roll for lunch. I think that's far enough apart. I don't know, because I've never made rolls, how much these are going to spread out. I'd say that's good enough for my first attempt. I'm going to stick these in the oven for 25 minutes. Keep an eye on them. It says wait till they go golden brown, and then it did say to give them a tap, and when they feel hollow they should be ready. Here goes nothing. Right, so I've done it. I finally done it thanks to all of your positive encouragement on the channel. I've made a batch of rolls and I couldn't be happier. I'm really proud of these. So they look like that inside. Look, nice fluffy rolls. A couple are bigger than the others. A couple are a little bit different shape, but do you know what? I'm lost for words. Thank you so much for everyone who just constantly jumps on the channel, encourages me to try new things. I could have just been doing these challenges, cooking the same meals, buying bread, but I'm getting out there, I'm creating stuff, I'm experimenting, and I'm trying new things, and it's making me feel brilliant. I really am like buzzing for this. I'm gonna have one for lunch, and I'm gonna have one of the bananas because I'm busy in the garden today. So I'm gonna have good old peanut butter in my roll and a banana. Gonna put these aside, and I'm looking forward to having this chimichanga for my lunch tomorrow at work. I'll work out what I'm going to fill it with. But yeah, enough waffling on. This is going to be a lovely lunch with some homemade first time bread rolls. Really busy, didn't really have a chance to film this because I've cooked for everyone else as well. So for dinner I've got one of the chicken breasts. I've taken some of the chicken breast off with some leftover stuffing. That's going to be our lunch at work tomorrow. So we're going to have our new homemade rolls with chicken stuffing mayo sandwiches for tomorrow for lunch. So that's 2 meals out of that one bit of chicken. I've got some stuffing balls, green beans, a couple of roast potatoes in our gravy granules. That's my dinner. And for the people out there who say I saw other food, this is the meal I've cooked because I've got family around. So they've got garlic bread, homemade potato salad with red onions. They've got a choice between bacon steaks, chicken, roast chicken. There's a little potato salad for my son because he's not a fan of onion. I've got a Mediterranean couscous and a salad. So yes, there is lots of food in my kitchen. It's just the fact that I cook for other people. I've got guests round and I'm going to be sat eating my roast dinner. But I love doing these challenges. It's not a big deal. After this challenge I'm going to sit outside and have a big old get together and eat what I like. But that's me done for today. So that's day 2. So proud of my rolls. Can't wait for them at work tomorrow. Later on in the week we're going to make some, I'm going to make a loaf of bread. But I'm going to feed everyone else now and tuck into my dinner. Up early and back to work this morning, so it's a coffee with some porridge with water and the last of one of those 3 pots of apricot jam just mixed in. So I'm back in my van because it's another week at work. I enjoyed my time off last week, and I've got 2 of these today. So it's the chicken stuffing and mayo rolls, and I genuinely didn't realise how happy a roll could make someone. So I just love the fact that I made them. It just makes me feel good, and I'm really looking forward to making bread later on in the week. So I'm going to have my lunch and then I'll be at home later on. It'll be a late one today, and then I'm going to cook something up with the chicken again. Bit of an experimental random dinner today. I'm going to use up what's left of the old packet of lentils with some chicken drumsticks because I've got some flatbread to use. So I thought I could do like I'm just winging this. Just thought I could do some curried lentils with a bit of onion, some mushroom, thicken it up with the tomato puree, but cook the lentils first in some stock, and then I might serve it with some sliced beetroot as well, just because that's what I fancy tonight, to be honest with you. It's been a long day, first day back at work. So what we'll do is we'll add the stock to a pan. I might need a little bit more than that. I can swish it out a little bit, and then I'm just going to rinse the lentils and then add them to the stock. Then I can leave that to cook while I grab a quick shower. So I stuck the 2 chicken drumsticks in the air fryer. The onions are just going on to fry down a little bit, and I've cooked up the lentils. They've absorbed the stock. There's quite a lot of lentils there. I'm still quite new to using lentils, so I don't really know how to portion it out. There's a good chance we're going to be having some lentils for lunch tomorrow. The mushrooms have been washed and chopped up, so we just fry them down, and then we're going to add a bit of garam masala, This should be a nice, quick, easy meal. I think the trouble is for me, on a Monday, I start early and I finish late. So this is kind of, I'm making something up nice and quick and easy. Now the onions are cooked down a bit, they've sweated down. Gonna chuck in some of the garam masala, and I'm gonna use a spoon. I'm gonna learn my lesson from the week 2 debacle, where I chucked in half the tub of curry powder, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of hot paprika to that as well. Bit of a splash of water, and the mushrooms. Let's be honest, this isn't really a recipe, this is just me chucking stuff together after a busy day. And then I'm going to do a big old blob of the tomato puree. Well, I'll tell you something I could do. I could drain off the sauce from the beans, because they were very runny last time, and I'm going to have some beans for breakfast tomorrow, I think. Don't particularly want all the sauce. Add a little bit of sweetness from the bean juice. Why not? A little bit more water. And then I'm going to chuck in the lentils. Those lentils cooked really quickly. I need to remember that, because I disappeared up into the shower. And if it had been a bit longer, we could have potentially had burnt lentils in the pan. Give it some pepper. Set it on to simmer while I'm cooking while I'm finishing up the chicken. I love the taste of beetroot. So I've got curried lentils with some mushrooms and onions in them. I've got a sliced beetroot and 2 chicken drumsticks. I'm going to make sure I get into the habit of saving the bones to go into a stock. So I'll do that today. And I've got plenty of leftover lentils to enjoy for lunch tomorrow. And I'm going to use up the flatbread I've got left to have that. So that's lunch sorted, which means I can use the rolls tomorrow. I'm thinking of making some toasting the rolls like bread with some scrambled egg and baked beans for breakfast. But anyway, I'm going to go tuck into my dinner and have an early night. Breakfast is a coffee to go. I squidged down one of the bread rolls and I put it in the toaster. Obviously it's falling apart a bit because I had to try and flatten it. And then I've got some baked beans and I've got 2 scrambled egg with some pepper on top. Quite a big breakfast today. So I've sat in the van for my lunch. I've got the lentils cold. It actually tastes quite nice cold, so it saved me trying to heat it up when I'm in the van on the go. I'm going to have it with the flatbread, and then I've got one of the bananas for later on. Just to keep me going for my long day at work. But I really am enjoying these lentils. Right, so today for dinner I'm looking at making some sweet potato mash. I'm going to try and make a chicken schnitzel. I think that's what they call them. So like a flattened out chicken breast. I was thinking of doing like a breadcrumb. So I was thinking we've got 2 rolls left, and then tomorrow I'm going to make some bread in the evening. Vicky's at football, so I've got time to mess around tomorrow. One of these I'll save for lunch tomorrow, and then the second one, just checking I've got 2. The second one I'm going to blend up to make breadcrumb, and then we've got an egg so we can make, and flour so we can make breadcrumbs, and then we'll shallow fry it with sweet potato mash and some green beans. I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do today, because that sounds really tasty. I'm going to take the bone off of this side of chicken and then add that to the mix of stuff going in for the stock. Let's try out the peeler, which I got free with my, oh that's a good one. That came free with the knife set I bought. I don't often eat sweet potato. Taking on board all your advice and tips and all your recipes, and you know, I do, well, these are tough to cut. Jeez Louise. I'm going to stop talking while I dice this up. I'm just taking the skin off the chicken breast, and then we need to take the bone off as well. So I've taken the skin and the bone around the breast, and there's a lot of meat on there, so that is all going to go in the bag for the stock. Flatten the chicken breast. So I'll start the roll in the blender. We're just going to bread it down, crumb it down. So we've got the breadcrumbs and an egg. Right, so the idea is you beat an egg, you get some flour, that'll do. Only doing one bit of chicken. There's a lot of breadcrumbs there. I can save some of them actually. I don't want to get egg into this. If I had it all in there and the egg gets in it, then I can't save the breadcrumbs, so it's better to pull them out now. But that should be sufficient for the chicken. And then we're just going to put the chicken in the flour. Someone mentioned my cooking skills the other day on the channel, but I'm not a chef. I'm just a dad with kids who likes messing around with cooking. I don't ever imply that I'm anything but. So we dip it in the egg. Try and make sure we got all the bits covered, and then into the crumbs. Get as much breadcrumbs on it as we can. And we got a large breaded piece of chicken. And put them straight in there, and then I'll clean up some mess. Mash up the sweet potato. Gonna add a pinch of salt, loads of pepper. Because I love pepper, and flick over this without splashing myself too much with oil. We use one of our floras to add a bit of butteriness to it. I actually fancy a bit of sauce with it as well, so I'm thinking a bit of yogurt, bit of this crumbly cheese. Right, need you guys to tell me in the comments whether you think this is cheating or not, because I've got fresh chives. Fresh chives are infinitely better than the stuff in the jars, so I'm going to have some chives. Just take a selection, take a haircut for this, for my chive plant. Technically it's a herb from the cupboards / window. I grow them on the windowsill in the kitchen, along with the rocket and the other stuff I'm growing. So I'm going to add the fresh chives in with the cheese and yogurt. Give that a mix up. I'm going to put that over the top of the chicken. I'm going to try it as well. It's very tasty, especially with the chives. And we've got the green beans, half the mash. That'll do. There we have green beans with sweet potato mash, a chicken schnitzel with breadcrumbs from our homemade roll, and a yogurt with cheese and fresh chive sauce on top. It's quite a nice looking dinner if I say so myself. So tasty, really nice. Just give that mash a taste. Really tasty as well. Do it with some of that cheesiness. Green beans are green beans. Before I have my dinner, I just wanted to say thank you so much for everyone who's watched parts 1 and 2 so far. and I really appreciate everyone who jumped in on the premiere of the second part. I managed to jump in, I managed to get in there and have a chat with a few of you. It was brief because I had to get back to work, but it was really nice to speak to some people in real time, which is fantastic. I can't say enough times how appreciative I am for the comments, for the community which is building around this channel. Try and jump in on all the premieres and just have a chat, even if it's for 5 minutes, just so I can get to talk in real time with you guys. I do answer all my comments in the comment section, and if I have missed you or you've sent me a reply and I've not responded, jog me, because I get so many. Sometimes they just slip through the net, but I will respond. And again, I'm always absorbing your information, your tips and your advice. So I'm going to stop waffling on. I'm going to eat my dinner. I'm really happy with that chicken. That's another menu done with some of the chicken, so we really are building up the numbers now for the chicken meals. I'm going to eat this, sit down for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to get back in the kitchen, and I'm either going to make some oat biscuits or some muffins. I don't know yet, but I'm going to make something because I don't want to just have the peanut butter roll for lunch tomorrow. Save the rest of that sweet potato as well, so we'll have that. And yeah, I'll catch you back in the kitchen. Right, we're going to make the 3 ingredient banana muffins, which we did. I've shared a video of it. We've done them before, just using the 3 ingredients. This time round though, we're going to improve on it by adding some extras. So we need 1 cup of oats. Just going to stick them in the blender till they turn to a flour. Then we're going to get 2 bananas. These should be ripe enough. Riper the better for this. Just going to mash them in the bowl. So that's the bananas mashed up. We're going to add the flour, 1 tablespoon of water, and then half a teaspoon of baking powder. And because we're not just doing it with 3 ingredients, because that's enough. If you've seen the video, you can just do that with basic ingredients. We're going to add a couple of drops of vanilla extract, and then I'm going to add some chocolate. Now I haven't got chocolate chips, but I can chop this dark chocolate up into small pieces. Save the rest. Stuck the light on because it's getting a bit dark. Gonna add the chopped up chocolate to the mix and then stir it all together. Could add all sorts to this mix. You could add fruit, raisins. I've done it a couple of times with blueberries now. Just going to use the silicone trays so I don't have to grease them. When I make these, I normally do 6 small muffins, but I'm going to do 4 big ones today. So that's what they look like before they go in. I'll whack them in, give the kitchen a clean up. There we go, we got 4 muffins for the rest of the week. These will be great for lunch at work. Using 2 of the bananas, some of the oats, and obviously the dark chocolate, which was our treat for the week. Just try and give you a look what they look like. Obviously they're quite dense because they're made with banana and oats, but they're still fluffy enough, they're still risen, and I can't wait to have them for lunch tomorrow. Breakfast this morning is a bowl of granola with the natural yoghurt and a diced up pear. Just pulled over for my lunch break today. I've got a peanut butter roll. That's the last of the rolls done, so it's definitely bread tonight, bread making tonight. And then I've got 2 of my banana oat muffins. Really happy with the way these muffins turned out. I've got 2 more left over for tomorrow, so that will see me through for a couple of days at work. Really substantial, keep me going, full of energy. And I'm really excited about getting home tonight and getting on and making some bread. Vicky's out at football training tonight. I think she's just watching because she's still got a bad knee, bless her. But I'm gonna crack on, make the bread up. I'm gonna make the dough, then get everything I need to do done around the house tonight, and then I'll make some dinner up, which is going to be chicken pasta, and then after that I can get the bread in, so probably fill the house with the smell of bread late in the evening and make everyone hungry. I wouldn't be surprised if the kids nick a bit of bread if it turns out nice, because they had their eyes on these rolls and I've had to make some rolls up for them. I've been doing that with flatbreads as well, just to keep them away from the ones I'm using on the challenge, because they smell it and they're really impressed with it. And especially my nipper, he's always on the lookout for food, bless him. He's a growing lad who plays rugby, so he's always hungry. Right, so we're going to have a go at making some bread. I'm going to keep it simple and around the same kind of recipe as the bread rolls, because I know it works. So 500 grams of strong white bread flour, and then we're going to add, so I'm going to mix it up a little bit, so I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of garlic salt instead of standard table salt this time round. I'm also going to add in a teaspoon of Italian herbs, and then we're going to add in 1/4 teaspoon of onion granules. I'm still going to follow the recipe where it says to add in sugar, because I think that might be fundamental to the actual baking. So we're going to do 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of olive oil instead of sunflower oil, and then finally all we've got to do is add in 1 sachet of the fast action yeast we bought. Vicky, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Can I make this bread without having a bread tin? Or is it going to go everywhere? Because the rolls didn't go everywhere. I'm not worried about it being a square loaf.
Just mould it then.
Yeah, mould it like a giant roll.
Loaf.
Like a loaf? Loaf?
Like mould it, yeah, to some sort of like kind of rectangle shaped loaf.
Okay.
Why do I keep saying loaf funny?
I don't know, but yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, and it should be fine.
Okay, baby.
I hope. Fingers crossed. It's trial and error, and if not, then we know to buy a bread tin.
That's on my list. Then we add 325 ml of warm water, remembering that warm water is what activates the yeast. And then we're going to mix this into a shaggy dough. Not sure why the word shaggy dough amuses me, but it does. So it's just got to be a rough mixture. I'm going to use a spatula. And then we're going to leave it to stand for 10 minutes. I'm going to prep up for the pasta. Then we're going to knead it, and then we're going to leave it for well over an hour. I'm going to sit my butt down for once, because I'm always on the go. And I'm going to watch some fishing videos on YouTube. Here's the shaggy dough, which we're going to leave for 10 minutes. I've left it 10 minutes. I've oiled the surface. I'm going to get this dough out. So I'm just going to knead it. I've done the best I can kneading it. Cover it up in a big bowl. Just going to leave that for at least an hour, probably an hour and a half, 2 hours. While the bread's resting, we're going to get on and make the pasta. It's going to be a really simple pasta because I'm focusing my attention on bread tonight. Dice up a couple of onions. I've cooked off some pasta. I'm just frying down some onions and the last carrot. I saved the skins of the onion and the carrot in with some potato peels I got ready for my stock in the morning. I'm going to chuck in the tin of chopped tomatoes. Like I said, this is real basic. This is just pasta with some onion, carrot, mushrooms, some chopped tomatoes, which we'll reduce down with some of the Italian herbs, some garlic granules, chuck in the mushrooms. We'll let that simmer down. So the sauce is thickened up, reduced down, thickened up, whatever you want to call it, to be honest. I'm going to chuck in some of this pasta and then save some for lunch tomorrow. I cooked the chicken, I cooked the 2 thighs. I'm going to put some of this chicken in for lunch tomorrow. Probably about that much, not too much. And I'm just going to whack the rest in here while it's still warm. I don't know why this week, but I know why actually. I'm rambling, but I know why I'm tired, because I had a lovely week off last week. I'm getting in the swing of being at work again. That's what it is. Just going to add some pepper, a pinch of salt. That'll do for that. And then I'm just going to make a super easy lunch. I do those with tuna in it instead. But a generous squirt of mayonnaise. I'm going to stick some piri seasoning in there. Just mix it all around. Chicken pasta with the chopped tomatoes and then some veg thrown in and some cheese over the top and a couple of fresh basil leaves from what I'm growing. I'm sneaking in a few fresh herbs. It's that time of year. I'm growing them and yeah, I just want to include them. And then I've got leftover tomato chicken pasta for lunch on Friday, my last day at work and the last day of the challenge. That's gone quick this week. I've got a piri mayo chicken pasta salad for lunch tomorrow. Right, I'm going to eat this, chill out for an hour and then check on that bread. It's been an hour and a half and the dough's risen loads. I'm going to flour the side. Oh, you can smell the onions and the herbs and everything. It's wicked. Amazes me how warm it feels where the yeast is acting. So cool. Key, my love, can you just come and have a look at my bread for me? Does that look okay?
Yeah.
Do you reckon that will rise up?
Yeah, it should do, yeah.
Oh, look at that. You've made it look like a little loaf already.
Smells amazing.
I know, I just mentioned that with...
It's got onion in it, huh?
It's got onion granules. Did I put onion granules? I can't even remember.
Do you want to scorch it?
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Is that enough?
Oh yeah.
I wanted to put V and K on it.
Thank you.
No, thank you. There you go, look. Vicky made it into a bit more of a loaf shape. I'm going to give it for 25 minutes to keep an eye on it, but that's what it looks like, guys. So I've made the bread. I think it's come out really nicely. Vicky, you're impressed with that, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's a nice old big old bread there. I'm just hoping it's cooked all the way through. Is that a thing?
Should be fine.
Right, let's cut it. I'm so happy. Vicky, I think I'm going to have to call a family meeting. Homemade bread. There's some bread there. Oh, shall I strategically waited for the bigger piece. Payne, do you want a bigger piece, mate? I'll have a little bit. I broke the challenge rules because I'm having a bit of butter on it. But I thought we could all try it together. This is my first attempt at bread. Alright, let me know what you think, honestly.
Okay.
What did you think?
I think it tastes like Subway bread.
Like what? Like the Italian bread?
Yeah, the Italian white bread.
Yeah, it's stunning.
Really?
Really
Yeah.
good.
Genuinely?
I love the herbs in it.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, tastes amazing.
Yeah? Do you want me to make some on the weekend for you
You
guys?
should put it with our you should make it like garlic bread and like fill it with our pasta.
Oh yeah. I could have that with a little bit of garlic butter on top. Thank you guys. I think that's a success. I'm well chuffed with that bread. I'm really glad I put the Italian herbs in it. It's very late. I've managed to get them all to come down for a little meeting just to try my bread. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. I was really happy with the rolls. I'm really happy with this bread. It's a really nice addition to the week, and I feel a bit proud of myself for making some bread as well. I think this might be the start of me being a bit of a baker, or at least pretending and trying to be a baker. I think sourdough and some other stuff is probably on the cards. It's just fun, isn't it? I got to my age and I haven't been baking bread or trying bread. I'm just, yeah, thank you again. I keep saying this, I know I keep saying it, but thank you for everyone in the comments for your encouragement, for everyone who just like make some rolls, try some bread and stuff. You're changing me all the time. Thank you, and I'll see you in the morning for breakfast. Quick update, I'm now a couple of slices down where I got them to do the taste test, and my son was like, I wish I could have some more, and I'm not doing that to him. So I've given my kids a couple of slices with some butter on it. I've still got plenty to use. You might say that that's not part of the challenge, but do you know what? Kids come first. And his little face when I gave him the extra slice, he was well happy, so it was worth doing the sacrifice. So I've got up early to put the stock on. The issue is, I've been up stocks online and it says to add celery, carrot, onion. I'm limited on what I've got in my little bag. So I've got all this chicken, so that can all go in. And then I've got some carrot peeling, some potato and some onion. And then I've got some frozen leftover onion. So that's kind of all I've got really for it. So I read there's many ways of doing it. I mean, browning the bones, raw makes more of a white stock, brown makes a more richer brown stock. Some people say white's better. Who knows? I did read something, and I know this is only my first time, but you probably already know on the channel that I like to mess around with things. It did say that you can add a bit of Marmite for richness, so that is what I'm doing. With the lack of everything else in there, quite hard to get out. We're going to cover it over with water. Going to add a little bit of black pepper. Mix that around a little bit. Now we're going to leave that to simmer all day in the slow cooker. I've been busy this morning messing around googling stocks, so we're just going to have a bowl of granola so I'm not late for work. The last of the milk because it needs using, minus coffee for. So there's one flaw with this bread, which I was talking to Vicky about in bed last night. Because it's got garlic and Italian herbs in it, this really isn't a breakfast loaf. This is no good. I don't really fancy this with some jam on it for breakfast. I'm going to save it for later, get on and have my breakfast, get my coffee. It's absolutely peeing it down there. So I'm going to get soaked at work all day. I'll see you at lunchtime and then we'll come back and check on our stock tonight. A break to eat my chicken pasta and piri mayo. Looks quite nice, doesn't it? It smells amazing when I opened up the lid. It is a miserable day today. Look at that, I'm out in this all day. And it's, I think it's set to be for the rest of the week, so my allotment's going to be fun. I can still weed in the rain anyway, but anyway. I'm going to have my lunch and then I can't wait to get home and check on that stock. I know I didn't have celery and carrots, much carrots in there, but I'm just working with what I've got in the challenge. I really do feel like I want to try and make a real proper stock with loads of celery and carrots and onions and stuff, so I'm outside the challenge. I think I'm going to have another go at it as well. So the stock's been in all day. It looks pretty good. I mean, I don't actually know if it looks pretty good because I've never made stock before, but it's got a nice dark rich colour. There's all the different bones in it. There's a few potato peels in there, some onion. Oh, steaming up the camera. But anyway, that's what it looks like with all the bones in it. It smells really nice. It smells really like rich. And then I'm gonna drain it into a bowl. So I was gonna put it straight into a jug, but I know I'm going to make a mess, so we're going to do it like this. This slow cooker's hot as well, so I've got to be careful. There's loads of bits of meat left on this. I was looking up when it was how to make stock, and it did say that the meat's not very nice once it's been in the slow cooker and once it's been cooked down as stock, but it's still edible, isn't it? And it's still extra protein. So today, because I need a bit of a break from filming, editing and everything, I just want to watch a film with Vicky, chill out. She's overdue a foot rub. She's in the background laughing. I'm going to pick the bits of meat off, and I'm just going to make noodles with half of this stock and the other half of stock to make a soup tomorrow, which will be the last day of this week, which is crazy how it's gone. That's my plan, because the chicken's still good and I want to make the most of it and I don't want to waste it. So I'm just going to pick out the bones and the peelings up against it with this. I might have to let it cool down a little bit. I'll do that and then I'll come back. Right, so I took the time to take out the bones and the gristle and the vegetable peelings. And I feel like it was worthwhile, because this may not look appetising to everyone because of the chicken skin's a bit soggy. But you know what? That doesn't bother me. I've eaten worse things. And that's extra protein. It's going to pack my noodles out. It means the noodles are going to keep me full till to breakfast. There's loads in there. There's half a bowl of chicken there. So obviously, where I'm new to using and making stock, is there anything I should have done with the scraps, the bones, stuff like that? Or was I right just to chuck that after use? I don't know. Maybe you could let me know in the comments. I'm going to try this stock and see what it's like. It's surprisingly strong on chicken flavour. I mean, it could do with a little bit of salt. Vicky, do you want to try this stock?
Yeah.
So this is homemade stock. My first attempt at homemade stock.
Oh, that's lovely.
Does it taste? Yeah.
Have you added salt to that?
No.
No, that's really nice.
Oh, I see. I thought it needed a little bit more salt.
I like it.
Yeah.
No, I like it. I'm not.
Chickeny.
It's lovely.
Yeah. Oh, that's just from the bones and the carcass.
Yeah, I love it. It's perfect.
Perfect. And I done it over the course of the day, didn't I, in a slow cooker? Oh, there you go. The wife approves. Gonna have to try the other ones. Gonna have to try fish stock, vegetable stock, and what's the other one?
Beef stock.
Beef stock. Oh, I wouldn't have a clue how to do that. Stick a cow's head in a slow cooker.
Do you not get beef joint? Do you get bones in the beef joint? No, you don't.
Not really, no.
No. You have to ask my
We're
dad.
not posh enough to have T-bones, are we?
You have to ask my dad.
Vicky's dad's a butcher. Never mentioned that on the channel. Was a butcher.
Yeah, he still specialises in.
No,
Had to
he
do,
is still.
back in the day, I had to do an apprenticeship and everything.
Yeah,
so he's skilled.
I'll have to get him to have a look at my video where I carved that chicken. He'd be able to pinpoint the things I've done wrong. Right, I'm going to decant. There's a good word for you. Decant the stock into a jug for soup tomorrow, and then I'm going to make some noodles for dinner with the chicken. What are you having for dinner?
I've got couscous and salads and pork chops.
Ooh, I love pork chops. I'm alright with my noodles though. Right, let's get this all in a jug. I can't be bothered with that. I'm going to just tip it in, Vic. How much stock we ended up with? 1.5 pints. That's more than enough. Right, let's get the noodles on. Good old ramen noodles, my favourites. There's also someone else in this house who loves ramen, and that's my daughter. You're not bothered by ramen, are you, Vic? I reckon I'm going to save a pint for my soup. I've got stock everywhere, by the way. Right, so I've got the stock in there. I'm going to just cook down the noodles. I can save my sachet from the ramen noodles now. That's going in a little stash pot. And I'm going to let the stock cool down, and then that can go in the fridge, and then I can reuse it tomorrow for the soup. So the noodles are cooking. I've chucked in the chicken. I've chucked in a mushroom just to add a bit of extra veg in it. And I've chucked in a onion. I don't want the onion cooked too much because I want it to still be crunchy. Just add a bit of texture into it. That's a lot of ramen actually, isn't it? Once I've added all the other ingredients. And the sauce is reduced as well as being absorbed by the noodles. Yes, it's ramen. Yes, ramen's not necessarily good for you, but that stock's better for me than a shop bought. It's got loads of the chicken nutrients from the chicken. I've got the protein from the chicken scraps and the vegetables as well. So actually I'd argue that this ramen could be a lot worse. I'm going to eat my dinner. I'm going to take the night off. I'll see you in the morning. Right, so the last day of the week, and we've got porridge with the last of the honey from our free honey jar, and then coffee with the last of the milk. So that's all used up. I'm going to quickly take a look at what's left over for the week so that I can make a better decision on what I'm going to buy for week 4, and then I'm going to get myself to work. Just about to eat my lunch. I've got the leftover pasta. I did have 2 bits of bread, but I've already eaten 1 piece and a pear. So I used a few bits up this afternoon for lunch. I've got a busy evening because I want to get the food shop done, plus I want to make a soup, and it's Friday and it's always mad on a Friday. I forgot a knife and fork, but luckily I keep some of the cutlery stuff from my MRE reviews you might have seen on the channel. It always has a spoon or a spork and a knife in it. Always chuck that in the glove box, so that was handy. That saved me today. No one wants to see me eating my pasta with my fingers. I'll see you later on. Running out of time today, so I've not got time to talk through cooking up the soup, but I've used the chicken stock. I've got a load of lentils in there, a couple of handfuls of lentils. I've got an onion, loads of bacon. I'm just going to cook it down till the lentils are softened up. I made a big old pot, so I'm going to have leftover soup. Not a bad way to end week 3, full of learning and experimenting. Tomato cheese on toast, which is my own bread, and I've got a chicken bacon lentil soup with my own stock. Not a bad way at all to end the week. Right guys, so let's have a little sum up of what's left over at the end of this week 3 challenge. We'll start with the fridge stuff. So we've got 8 onions left from the wonky brown onions, 4 mushrooms, 2 potatoes, 3 lots of bacon, the last beetroot, the last lonely pear, some sweet potato mash, which is now going to go in the freezer, 2 eggs, 3/4 of the fat-free natural yogurt, half the block of the cheese and the tomato puree. Freezer wise, we've got 2 more packs of the bacon, the frozen banana and some green beans. We're down to about 1/4 of the bag now. Cupboards wise, we've got 3/4 of the sage and onion stuffing mix, 6 sachets of fast action yeast, still a considerable amount of the coffee, where I'm only having 1 coffee a day, most days that is, a small amount of the granola, 1/3 of the pack of the porridge oats, most of our plain flour, so we'll get round to using that in week 4, about 1/4 of a bag of the strong white bread flour, a whole pack of red lentils, 1/4 of a bag of the white long grain rice, 1/4 of the peanut butter, 3/4 of the gravy granules for meat, loads of the real mayonnaise bottle left, the breadcrumbs left over after making the chicken from the rolls we made in week 3, a tin of chickpeas, peeled potatoes, a tin of spaghetti hoops, a tin of red kidney beans, half the dark chocolate bar, a tin of sardines, just under half of our loaf of bread we made with Italian herbs. This is what's left of our 3 condiments and sachets, and finally what we've built up for our herbs and spices. We've got medium curry powder, garam masala, some piri seasoning, and some Italian style mixed herbs. That's everything left over after week 3, 1, 2 and 3. As you can see, there's plenty to be stored in our store cupboards. There's plenty of variety there. I'm going to go shop for week 4 and see how I get on. I'm probably going to pick up something different to chicken this time round after we've invested a lot of time in doing chicken this week. That's the end of week 3. I really enjoyed week 3. I think it was a combination of having that whole chicken, learning how to separate it down into 9 pieces including the carcass, making all the different meals out of the chicken. I think I spread it pretty well over the whole of the week. I do think there's a bit more margin for making different meals with chicken. I'll probably readdress that. I am thinking of doing a video where we just take the chicken and we make loads of nice meals, no budget, just a whole chicken and lots of delicious meals. So that might be a video later down the line. There's just too many videos that I want to do and not enough time in my busy life, but I have got a list and it will go on the list. I could pretty much go full time and just show you guys videos every day. I love it so much, it's so much fun, but I can't because I've got my family, I've got my job, I've got my life. I think it was a combination of the chicken and making some basic baking as well. The fact that I managed to make some rolls which were delicious, and then the bread which was even more delicious. I'm just having a lot of fun and I'm learning a lot of things. I know I said a thank you a million times in this, so I'm not going to say thank you, I'm just going to say I'm learning from you guys. So you guys in the community which have really built this channel, put me in the direction I'm going. All of your recipes, all your tips, all your comments, and if I've missed anyone in the comments, it's not deliberate. It's just I get so many, and anytime I get a spare 5 minutes, I'm just jumping in, trying to message back on comments. I'm copying your recipes, they're in my book. I'm copying down your ideas for challenges. I'm considering everything you tell me, and also the things I'm doing wrong. So there are ways of telling someone something. So the comments which say, you know, try doing this, try and do that, I am listening to that. And if you're telling me that I've done something wrong and it's, you know, going to improve what I'm doing, I'm taking it on board. There's no room for nastiness. There's no need to be nasty to anyone. There's, in general in life, it takes effort to be hateful and unkind, and there's no need for it. So, you know, I'm going to ignore the haters. I'm going to appreciate the ones who are on my channel consistently, feeding me information, cheering me on. Enough waffling on that. I'm really looking forward to week 4. I'm going to go to Morrisons after I finish tonight, and that will be the last of the shop. We're really building up a good old supply of food. As you can see, what's left over. I haven't really messed around with chickpeas, so I'm going to focus on chickpeas. Lentils will be back next week because I'm really enjoying learning things with lentils. There's loads of different things I want to try this week. I'm not going to fit everything in, but you know, the beauty of it is I can redo this challenge, I can reattempt this challenge down the line. I can incorporate some of the recipe ideas I've been given into other challenges. I've still got vegan week. I'll tell you what I want to do straight after this, which is going to dictate whether or not I do a no shop week. I really want to go back to the £1 challenge. For those of you who've seen it, I wasn't baking anything. I was, you know, I think I did a good job, but I do feel like I can do a better job by buying more basic raw ingredients. So I'm thinking, well, I need to sit down and think a bit more, but I'm thinking a bag of onions, I'm thinking flour, I'm thinking the porridge oats, but making flour out of the oats. I'm thinking doing more cooking, like more baking in there. I'm using chickpea water as an egg substitute, loads of things like that. So that might be the thing I do straight after week 4, after I give myself a day off, I guess. And I'm also looking at something which I have veered away from it, not because I'm done with the series. It's just something I haven't had a chance to get back to because I'm doing so many other things. But the World War II recipes has really inspired me, and that's how I made the butter bean soup and stuff like that. And again, that was more basic ingredients, and it actually required some cooking and me learning a few skills along the way. I am considering whether I might do a week where I'm only allowed adult males rations from the World War II era. So I've got some books on it, so that would require a bit more research, but I am thinking maybe I'll look at doing a World War II era ration for a week. That's going to be minimal food. I'm probably going to be hungry, but I think it might be a bit enlightening into how much food we actually eat now in comparison to the diet they were on back during the rationing era. Probably not a bad thing for me. I've lost a little bit of weight this week, and I think it's because I'm eating healthier and I'm eating 3 meals a day and I'm not snacking. I'll be totally honest with you, I'm a fiend for toast late at night or noodles late at night. I've not got a sweet tooth, you probably noticed that. I like fruit, but I'm not into sweet stuff. So, you know, someone mentioned about seeing, in one of my videos, they mentioned about seeing a little banner saying happy birthday with candles. And they said, oh, you know, did you break your challenge to have a slice? I'm not interested in birthday cake. I don't even get a birthday cake for my birthday. I think, what did I have last year? I'm trying to remember. I think I had flapjacks with candles in it, because I just don't like, I'm not big on sweet stuff. I think the combination of that, eating healthier, eating more basic, and the food I'm eating keeps me full for longer. So another comment that was on the channel said, you don't eat a lot for a big guy. Well, I think I was eating too much. I think that is my problem, and I think it's something I'm learning to address while I'm doing these challenges. I want to be healthier. I want to be around longer for my kids. I want to eat better. Challenges are improving that. They're helping me to do that. And as I become, dare I say it, a little bit more educated with food, outside the challenges as well, I'm making better choices and saving money. It's affecting us at home in regards to our shopping budgets going down. I can see my wife, you know, she's very sporty and active. She's actually been better in her life when it comes to eating and her food choices. I tend to be the naughty one, and that's just the way I have been. Okay, do you know what? I'm just going to say it. I've been the greedy one, and I'm changing that. I'm getting older. I want to be healthier. I want to be around for my kids more. I want to be more active. I am definitely waffling at the end of this one. Right, got to go to Morrisons. I am gonna pick up the ingredients. I'm gonna get ready for week 4. Thank you everyone who's watched. Thank you everyone who jumps in the comments. Thanks for being so brilliant. Thanks for being part of my community. My channel's growing and it blows my mind. It's always blown my mind. From the moment I put a video up, I only started last March, so March 2024. I started off with, I think I reviewed the camp stove, and then I did some MRE reviews. From the moment I'd done that, and then listened to the comment section, gone off doing one hobby to another and sharing it, and then I decided, you know what, this channel is about what I get up to, so I share all my hobbies. I don't share so much of my fishing, but that's because I'm a rubbish fisherman and I barely catch. If I do catch something at some point in the future and it's within a challenge, it's something I've foraged, I guess. Yeah, is it? I don't know, something I've caught, hunted, fished for. So yeah, I do try and share everything that I'm interested in. It's been a whirlwind. I'm loving it. I have a million video ideas that I want to share with you guys. If you haven't already, it's just hit that sub button. The notification button is more important to me than the sub button, so you get to know when I'm uploaded. Keep talking to me. Keep giving me your ideas. I'm filtering it all through this little brain of mine, and I'll hopefully see you for next week of the budget. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.